So I don't know.
Yeah.
It was just funny because I remember when, I remember when the series was announced and a bunch of people were like, "Oh my God, this is going to be a Boba Fett series." And Jon Favreau was like, "No, I promise the titular Mandalorian is not Boba Fett." People were like, "Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, you know, fool me twice, whatever." But then a bunch of people came out of the woodwork to be like, "Actually, Jango Fett and Boba Fett aren't Mandalorians, so they couldn't be the Mandalorian." So I just think this is like a fun, like, well, actually they are, you know, or well, actually the definition of Mandalorian is a little bit more complicated and nebulous. But the I like that it fits with that Mandalorian ethos of which we talked about a lot when we talked about season 1, this idea of like adoption and caretaking and foundlings and raising. Like if Grogu is, you know, if he sticks with Din Djarin, which he might not, but if he does, is Grogu a Mandalorian? Is raised, found, and raised by a Mandalorian? Is he a Mandalorian? You know?
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't know. Is he going to get
They're
a little?
gonna have to cut some ear holes in that.
Gonna get a little hell? I don't know. All right.
You know,
yeah.
can I say? Well, I
Of
don't know if
course.
this is any of the filmmakers' intention, but within this story, this particular aspect of the story, what defines a Mandalorian, I see symbolism for what makes a fan, right?
Oh, okay.
So, you know, you have these, speaking of, you know, bros or whatever, like guys, you know, I don't know if it's just guys, but a lot of the times it is. You know, they love something and they want to make it exclusive to them, right? Like, you're not a true fan.
Right.
You hear this a lot in comics, too. Like, you know, a Thor movie comes out and a woman goes into the comic shop and says, "I like that Thor movie. Do you have any good Thor comics for me?" And you think a true fan would say, "Yes, I'm glad that intrigued you. Here's, you know, you got to read this classic run, and here's this story, and here's this character that you might also like." And it's a chance to really play the deep cuts, you know? But instead it's like, "Oh, well, let me test your knowledge," you know, and ask a bunch of questions. And if you can't answer that, you're not a true fan. And I think women in Star Wars have had to deal with that garbage for a long time. And people various different backgrounds who find a connection to these stories, you know, they get challenged. Like, "Well, you're not a true fan. If you just came up through the prequels, well, you're not a true fan. If you just came in through, you know, the animated Clone Wars series, you're not a true fan." You're a true fan if you're a true fan. And I think that's one of the things that the Mandalorian identity is really
I love that.
projecting.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think? Like,
Yeah.
if you follow the way, if you think the helmet and armor is cool, if you do things, if you believe and care about the same things we do, you're a Mandalorian. Welcome to the party, pal.